Hey strategist, Mike Vera here. Today I want to talk a little bit about solutions to a problem that many people have. And that problem is sweaty hands. And in particular, I want to address when it matters the most. So if you have a job interview, a first date, whenever you have to make a first impression, you want to be sure that your hands are going to be dry so that you're not making an awkward experience for both parties involved. It's awkward for you, the sweaty handshaker, and then the person receiving that wet handshake. Nobody likes it. So, I want to talk today about three possible solutions to this problem that are based in research, that are low risk, and that can work consistently when implemented properly. So, the first one is meditation, breathing exercises. Now, of course, meditation is beneficial for a whole bunch of different reasons. But the reason it's specifically beneficial for hyperhidrosis is because of what actually triggers hyperhidrosis. Now, there are many different influences to triggering symptoms of hyperhidrosis if you have it. Everybody's a little bit different, but ultimately, a major influencer of it is your autonomic nervous system. And by the way, I will have links for all of this. If you're watching the video, the links will be in the description of this video. And if you're reading it, the links will just be right there. But meditation can actually reduce the symptoms of hyperhidrosis by reducing the autonomic nervous system overactivity. So said another way, if you find that you're sitting there waiting for that job interview and your hands are getting sweaty, your body's nervous system activity is heightened. And it's very possible that you're even in a almost like a state of fight or flight response, like your body is preparing itself to run from a lion when really you're just sitting in an office waiting to shake somebody's hand. Very different. So your body shouldn't be reacting over dramatically to something so trivial. So the best way to do this, in my experience, is by focusing on your breath. Mindfulness meditation, to be more specific. And what happens is you're training your body to focus on that one thing, your breath, instead of thinking of your hands and anticipating that handshake, which is just going to stress you out more. So focus has a lot to do with it by just redirecting your focus onto your breath, which helps distract you from the impending handshake, but it also lowers anxiety, lowers your blood pressure, reduces that autonomic nervous system activity, and sets you up to just be more calm. What's another thing you can do? So point two is cold exposure. And I know there's a lot of pullback when I very frequently suggest cold exposure to people. But one of the reasons that I'm a big fan of cold showers and ice baths and things of that sort are because it's been so helpful for me in my hyperhidrosis. And the reason it's so helpful is actually very similar to meditation, where it can reduce that autonomic nervous system activity. Even more than that, it can stimulate the vagus nerve, which is also partially responsible for that fight or flight response that I just previously discussed. And so even if you don't want to take a cold shower or jump in an ice bath, believe me, I get it. So at the very least, your vagus nerve is behind your face. So let's say you're taking a shower, turn off the hot water at the end, and just get your face as cold as you are comfortable getting it. And when I say that, you do want to be a little bit uncomfortable. You don't want to just oh, there's 2 seconds of cold and kind of pull back. Like really, you want to get something out of it. So make your face a little cold, get as much cold exposure as you are comfortable getting, because that can really reduce the symptoms of hyperhidrosis and set you up for a dry handshake. There's one more thing that's a little different from the first two examples. I know a lot of people with hyperhidrosis are inclined to maybe take some pills to reduce it, or even topical pharmaceutical treatments. Qbrexza is a very popular one, and the reason I'm not a fan of Qbrexza, and this isn't medical advice, I'm not a doctor, but those topicals often have something like anticholinergics, which the research shows can have a negative impact on your cognition. So you might have more dry hands, but you might be slowing down the way your brain works. So obviously not good. Aluminum, same thing. A lot of people, for your hands, your underarms, your feet, will use some kind of dry sol is a popular one, an aluminum-based deodorant, and that just plugs up the areas of sweating. And aluminum can accumulate in the body over time and has been associated with Alzheimer's. So another thing that can have a negative impact on your cognition. And if you are here, I'm assuming that you want to improve your health a little bit. That's what my channel is about. With that in mind, I would kind of advise against considering treatments that could have a serious negative impact on your health, such as those anticholinergics, aluminum, and honestly, most of the pharmaceuticals. I'll post a website below, rxisc.org. You can look up all the side effects for these pharmaceutical treatments that are often prescribed for hyperhidrosis. Now, all of that's to say, there is another prescription-based treatment that I am in favor of. And the reason I'm in favor of iontophoresis is that treatment. The reason I'm in favor of it is because it is the lowest risk out of all the prescription-based treatment options. Iontophoresis, if you are not familiar with it, is a medical device that sends a light electrical current into the location that you are treating. So I'll just focus again from me, my hands. I have my hands sitting in 2 trays of water, and there are these metal plates that send the current through. It's not painful at all. It takes 20 minutes. You're sitting there, kind of just getting your hands zapped, so to speak, and it helps. It functions very similar to, I've used dry sol in the past, the aluminum-based one, and that's, it is kind of a sure shot, but there's that big negative trade-off. So the other one is iontophoresis. That, in my experience, has been just as much of a sure shot. You can actually hear how dry my hands are. That's because I just did my iontophoresis treatment. So to sum everything up, if you have or you know somebody who has sweaty hands, feet, or underarms, then consider meditating, cold shower or cold exposure in some way, and iontophoresis. So what's next? I am really excited to announce that I am officially launching my 3-month online health coaching program called Verify Your Health. This is a system that's proven. This is something I've already been doing with a lot of my one-on-one clients, but I've just been getting so much demand from people who still want to work with me, but don't necessarily have the budget for one-on-one. Well, now you have the option of doing the group health coaching program. I will be releasing more info on that. I just don't want to take away from this video. So if you do want more information on my health coaching package, that will be also in the description below with a special discount code just for you. And even further, if you are interested in iontophoresis, there is a discount code for that as well in the description. So if you have any questions about either my health coaching package or hyperhidrosis, iontophoresis, or different things that you can do to kind of treat it, because there are more than just these 3 things, then feel free to reach out. And I hope you found some use out of this, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.